GLP-1 Journey in Review, coming at you live. I know this is kind of an unannounced one, but I just wanted to chat with everybody. Let me know who's here. If you have any comments, any questions, let me start off by introducing myself. My name's Lori, and I've been on compounded tirzepatide for a little bit more than a year, and I've lost 60 pounds, some days 61. I'm trying to get my maintenance down. That's kind of a tough thing because they're not used to that with the medications. So, like I said, I'm on the tirzepatide. There's also a compound semaglutide. The brand names are Ozempic and Wegovy, which are actually the same exact medication. It's just the FDA has approved the Ozempic for type 2 diabetes, and the Wegovy is for weight loss. And there is Zepbound for weight loss. But they're all different types of GLP-1 medications. Mounjaro is for the type 2 diabetes. Zepbound is for the weight loss. And I believe they have also done for sleep apnea. And with the Ozempic Wegovy, they've also okayed that, or are in the process of okaying it, for people with heart problems. There's other uses of the medication that are being studied that hopefully they'll be approved for soon. But just for sake of this live and for me not having to repeat myself, I'm just going to call it by one name. But when I'm saying the one name, I'm talking about all four of these medications. So like I said, I've been on it for a little more than a year. I started off at 2.5, like most people do, on their starter dose for a month, and then I went up to 5 milligrams, and I was on there for a few months, and went up to 7.5. Had a stall, went up to 10. Still had a bit of a stall. Tried 12.5 for 1 week, and I didn't particularly like it because I was forcing myself to eat and drink, and I'm like, oh, this isn't really good because this is supposed to be a lifestyle, and I can't be really forcing myself. So I titrated myself back down, first to 10, then to 7.5, and I even tried 5, but I got a little bit of food noise, and y'all know what the food noise is when you're constantly thinking, ooh, what am I going to eat next? What kind of food? How much? What time? Gee, do I want to have this later on for a snack? I'm planning, meals ahead of time, and not in a good way, like when you're grocery shopping and you're planning on what to buy. That's a total different thing. But it's just you just constantly are thinking about food, and you can't stop thinking about it. That's the kind that I'm talking about. So I had that food noise, so I went back up to 7.5, and at that point, I kind of like stabilized, and I figured, okay, let me try the maintenance here, and I'll just eat, like on my protein shake, which I usually have in the morning. I added some Greek yogurt and like a little bit bigger piece of protein for my lunch, and also with my dinner. But I'm still trying to keep up with this lifestyle. So hi there, Lo Romas, how you doing? Welcome to my live. Hopefully you like this video, this live, and you share it, and you subscribe to my channel, GLP-1 Journey in Review. Hopefully, I just went over my recap and all the medications. I'm just going to refer to one, but when I talk about one type of the medication, I'm talking about all of the compounds and also the brand names, just so that I don't have to repeat 6 names just and hear myself talk about it. So you do know that they're coming out with some new medications, hopefully within a year, and both Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk have talked about an oral form of the medication, which is really great because if they do have a pill form, the pharmacies won't have to have the special refrigerator, which, trust me, costs a fortune, and they pass that cost on to us, the customers. Plus, they take up so much room that, they can't carry all of their other medications that they usually have to carry. So what they do is, on certain medications that aren't used as much, they'll have to order them and you have to get them the next day, which is kind of a bummer when you go to the pharmacy and they're like, oh, we have to order it. You'll have to pick it up tomorrow, because you're like, oh, can't you just have it so that I don't have to come back tomorrow? For me, time is a big thing. I do things a lot to save time. So, that's a whole nother thing. So they're also in studies for higher doses. And the latest one is with the Ozempic, Wegovy, semaglutide. They're trying a little bit more than double their dose, and they're having pretty good results. And they say people are handling the side effects fairly well, which I would like to actually see that study, because people have told me that they've had more side effects on the semaglutide and all of its names than they do on the Mounjaro, Zepbound, and all the names. Again, I'm just going to try to use one of them for time's sake, and so that you don't have to, I don't have to repeat it constantly. So there's also a new study that they found that 12% of people taking it have a lower chance of getting Alzheimer's. That's huge, because there's no other preventive type of medication for Alzheimer's. There's really not too much in the market, even for if you have the Alzheimer's, but that's huge when you're talking about the millions of people that have it. And trust me, I'm getting a little bit older, and one of people's biggest fear is that they hope that their mind doesn't go, and they become dependent on people, and problems for people. It's something we all think about, and so that's huge. If that lowers the chances of getting it 12%, that's a pretty big thing. And there's also studies on how it helps people with Parkinson's, which, again, I know people that have had Parkinson's. It's not a pretty disease. Excuse me. I've scanned a lot of people because I do CT scans with Parkinson's. It's not a pretty thing. So, if it does help and it could help prevent it, that's a huge plus. There's also studies that it helps with blood pressure, and obviously if you lose weight, that helps with your blood pressure. Now, I can tell you a story that's totally relates to that. As I started losing weight, I was on medication for blood pressure 2 times a day, and I didn't realize that my blood pressure was lowering because of the medication. So, hi Ava, hi Eli, how you doing? Please like, subscribe, share GLP Journey in review. So anyhow, like my blood pressure, I didn't realize was dropping, and I was in the store and I was feeling really dizzy. And the next thing I knew, I was kind of waking up, and there was a crowd of people around me saying, "Oh, are you all right? Are you all right?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not that person, am I?" They're like, "Do you want us to call an ambulance?" I'm like, "No, no, no." Like I moved everything. Everything's fine. Got up, and I was still a little dizzy, and I figured, well, I just came from the gym and I didn't eat anything. Maybe it's my blood sugar. Had some juice. Went on my way. I'm doing fine, Ava. How are you guys doing? Went on my way, and the next day I was feeling dizzy again, and I'm like, oh, God, what the heck's going on? So I took my blood sugar, and that was fine. So, the light bulb went on in my head, and I'm like, let me take my blood pressure. And it was like 85/60, which is pretty low. And I'm like, So I called my doctor, my cardiologist, who actually I see 2 times a week at work. And he's like, okay, let's stop the medication and see how you're doing in a couple of weeks. I'm glad you're a big fan of mine. I like that. Keep it up. Keep watching. Like I said, join, like, share. It really does help. So anyhow, he told me to stop the medication, which I did. And a couple weeks later, he checked on me. He's like, well, how you feeling? Are you still dizzy? I'm like, well, not enough to pass out, but once in a while, yeah, I am dizzy. And he said, well, now that you don't have a blood pressure problem, salt is your friend. So I'm like, I never really had salt because I've always had blood pressure problems. So he recommended this Element, which is a salt-based electrolyte, and I sip on that all day long. And sure enough, I really haven't had a problem. Plus, like every once in a while I feel a little nauseated, probably from the medication, and I figured, okay, well, let me take a sip of this, and it's gone. So that's, to me, that's a win-win. So I pretty much suck on a couple of them a day. Some people say it's a little bit too salty, and for them, I say start off with a quarter pack to a half a pack and a bottle of water, and you know go from there. My wife started drinking it, and she started off. Yeah, I'm okay, thank you. She started off with half a pack, and she's up to a full pack, and she just loves it. That's all she drinks, and that's great because you also get. We all need the hydration. Water, water, water is the answer to a lot of the problems people are having. Both with constipation, dehydration, weight loss. It helps make you feel full quicker, and that's most of us are here to lose weight. And, that helps. And one of the side effects we know from the medication is nausea, vomiting, constipation, diarrhea, and the electrolytes and water helps with all of it. Like I said, it stops my nausea right away. I have it, and like if the more water you drink, the better. For the constipation. If you have diarrhea, you need to replenish your hydration because you don't want to get dehydrated. You're going to the ER to an emergency clinic to get an IV. That's not fun stuff. We all have better things to do with our time. So, so it does help with the blood pressure, and like I said, directly, indirectly, it does help. And they do have studies that it also helps with keeping your kidney function, and you also, helps with your insulin, so that you don't have these big sugar spikes when you eat something sweet or high in carbs, because excuse me, it stabilizes your insulin, so you don't have those sugar spikes, and that's good for losing weight. So now you know that the medication is expensive. So what do you do? Well, if you're eligible, there's coupons. If that doesn't work for you, there's always Compound, which is less expensive. I've been on Compound, and I've been very happy with it because it works to me just as well. Just be careful, because whether it be a 501A pharmacy or a 501B, do your homework, make sure it's legit, because the medication itself doesn't have to be, it's not actually FDA approved, but the lab, or the pharmacies themselves are inspected and okayed by the FDA. So you don't want to buy it from somebody's garage. And I know people do stupid things like that because they'll do anything to lose weight, and not a good idea, not a smart idea. So again, just do your homework. I personally use Join Mochi. I've used Orderly. Orderly, I had no problems with until they had their multi-dose vials, and they weren't really ready for it, and ran into all sorts of problems. And it took like 2.5, 3 months to get here, and I just wasn't happy. So I figured, okay, if I do go back to them, I'm gonna wait till all that is settled. But then I found Join Mochi, and I like them, and their price is actually a little bit lower. It's a $79 monthly charge, and then no matter what your dose is, it's $199 for a month's worth. At least of the tirzepatide, the semaglutide is a little bit less expensive. So I know some people, to save money, are also will choose that as opposed to the tirzepatide, which works a little bit better. Has two kinds of medication. So let's go over the way that it works. Is you give yourself an injection once a week, and they recommend it in your either stomach, the fat part of your arm, or your thigh. And I try to do it the same day. Mine is Saturday when I wake up, which is pretty early because I go to work pretty early, and give myself the injection. And what it does is it's a glucagon-like peptide, which it's a hormone that comes in your gut, in your bowel, and the medication actually duplicates this, And what it does is it signals to the pancreas to secrete some insulin so that you don't get those sugar spikes. And it sends a signal to your brain, telling you, hey, I'm full, so I don't have to eat anymore. And the science part of it is it makes you secrete some dopamine, which is like happy stuff for your brain, and it also slows down your digestion, and your stomach empties a little bit slower, so you get full quicker and you feel full for longer. So that's all the science stuff. I was a little bit of a science geek growing up, so I'm trying not to bore you too much with the science stuff. So also, because it does this to your brain with the dopamine, they're also doing studies on smoking, drinking, and even gambling, because people smoke and they go, oh, this feels so good, sends out a signal, your brain gives out some dopamine, that's why you like it. Same thing with gambling and drinking. So if this medication does that, it's going to say, hey, I don't really need to gamble, I don't really need to drink. They're studying it with narcotics and drugs, so hopefully that could work. Shout out to Ava and Eli. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you on here. So they're doing studies on gambling and other types of addiction, and we'll see how that goes. It's sounding like this is a miracle drug, which a lot of people are saying. So, and I'm using the general term Ozempic. Got really popular a couple years ago, and it was pretty much when Kim Kardashian had to wanted to lose some weight to fit into a Marilyn Monroe dress, and rumor had it that she took this medication. Don't know if it's true, just a rumor. I'm not going to spread any rumors, but they said that she took the Ozempic type of medication to fit into it, and all of a sudden, went crazy, and all of Hollywood's like, "Ooh, are they doing it?" You could watch any award show, and one of their opening jokes is going to be about Ozempic. I think the last award show, they're like, it was People's Choice or whatever. They're like, "Oh, Ozempic's biggest night," ha ha ha. So like Hollywood's all going nuts over it. So Hollywood goes nuts over it. Everybody is. People like Whoopi Goldberg has said on The View that she uses it. Sunny Halston on The View also said she's used it to lose weight, because she apparently gained a lot of weight during COVID. Elon Musk has claimed that he's used it. And one of the problems that people have when they do use it is you need to work out. You don't really need to work out, but any type of rapid weight gain, you're going to lose muscle. If you don't want to lose a lot of muscle, you should do some working out. If you can't work out, walk. If you can't walk, do some chair exercises. Anything to keep moving, so that you keep your muscle tone. It's not the medication that causes this muscle loss, it's the weight loss. So whether you're on Weight Watchers, whether you're on Atkins, whether you're keto, any rapid weight loss is going to cause some muscle loss. So you can't blame that on the GLP-1 medication. It's the same thing when people say that, oh, I'm getting Ozempic face. Well, you're losing a lot of weight. You're going to also lose weight in your face, and it's could be noticeable. And it should be called weight loss face, because it's not really the medication. It's any type of weight loss. So and as you get older, it's a little bit harder for you to lose the wrinkles and get elasticity in your skin. So I always recommend to people, and I take collagen regularly. I put it in my coffee in the morning, and I also put some in my protein shake, because it helps with the skin. And like I said, as we get older, we lose some of the elasticity, and it really helps as far as wrinkles and keeping your skin, moisture longer, and does a lot of good. So I take it, 2 scoops, 1 scoop in my coffee and 1 scoop in my protein shake. Plus, the plus side is that collagen has protein. There's an extra, 14, 15 grams of protein in the collagen. And, protein will also help with the muscle loss, and it'll help you keeping full longer. So you want a lot of good lean protein if you can get it. And, collagen helps. If you can't seem to eat enough of the protein, there's things like protein water, protein bars, there's protein pretzels. Again, I'm trying to keep this as a lifestyle, so once in a while I reward myself with pretzels or something like that, but I do try to make sure that they're at least protein pretzels, so that I can at least justify in my head, hey, these are a little bit better for me, and life is about making better choices, and I want to make the best choices that I could. I'm just checking my notes here. So again, with the cost, excuse me, some people are dose splitting, which is a lot easier to do if you're on compound, because I'm not going to say I'm not guilty of this, but I'm taking 7.5, but yet my prescription might be for 15, and so like if it tells me to use 4 units, okay, I'll do 2, and I'll have actually enough for 2 months, hypothetically, of course, because I can't say that I do that or that I would do that. A little bit harder to do if it's in a pen, but I'm working on a video to show you how to do that if you absolutely want to and absolutely have to, because I'd rather see people do splitting the dose rather than just not doing it because they can't afford it. That's just a preference that I have. So we've talked about dose splitting. There's people are also doing what's called microdosing, which is taking a smaller than prescribed amount. Some doctors will say that these doses are way too high to begin with. Some people are using it, like I said, if your regular day is Saturday and your dose is supposed to be 5, they'll do 2.5, and then midweek they'll do the other 2.5. Personally, for me, I haven't tried that because I've had good results in all the studies, and recommendations are for the full dose. So I'm gonna try not to fool around with that. But who knows with maintenance how that's gonna work? So you never know. You might end up trying something like that. So another big thing is we all need to support each other if we're on a weight loss journey. I don't care if you get your support from a group like mine, which I also have a Facebook group, GLP-1 Journey in Review on Facebook, and also a support group. Both of them are on Facebook, and there's links to it on my GLP-1 in Review YouTube channel. But I don't care if you get it from places like that, or from friends, or from family, or wherever you need support, whether it's clergy, whether it's teachers, whether it's co-workers. Without support, it's hard to do things alone. I know as far as like if my wife wasn't trying to lose weight also, and we were both, not eating the same and everything, it would be a lot harder if I had to make something different for her than I do for myself. And one of the people that I work with who started using actually Ozempic, she's got her kids and stuff won't eat the healthy food, so she goes ahead and makes the fried chicken, the chicken nuggets, and she's like, well, I'm not going to make something separate for myself, so I just eat a little bit less. And she's obviously not losing as fast as some people, because it's not magic. You still have to do the weight if do the work if you want to lose the weight. It's not a magic shot. You take it and you can eat anything you want and you're going to lose weight. It's just not the way it works. And we all know that there are some side effects. I've been pretty fortunate and haven't really had any little touch of nausea. I don't even know if it's just, from actually maybe being hungry or a little bit of acid reflux. But, my little sips of the element, which I'm about to take now, actually help with that. You know, so I've been pretty lucky, but they say that, you know, up to 20% of the people will feel some nausea from that. Said I've been pretty lucky. Another side effect is constipation and diarrhea. And yes, here we are on the internet talking about poop, but that's part of this journey. So constipation, water helps. I take magnesium, which I found at night, which I find to be very, very helpful. I use BioOptimizers, which is 7 different types of magnesium, and it also helps me sleep, you know, and it helps keep you regular. And, you know, sleep on these weight loss journeys is very important because weight loss is very hard on the body, and you need, you know, you need to recuperate, and the best way to recuperate is with sleep. So I know lately I haven't been getting enough sleep because I've been working a lot because we've got people out on maternity leave. I'm just trying to get this channel up and going pretty well. I'm trying to do these lives and keep you guys informed. Hopefully, you know, teaching you something. I know I'm learning a lot, maybe even entertaining you. You know, that's my goal, and you know, hopefully I'm doing some of that. So there's also some, you know, inflammation is not good also for losing weight. So, you know, if you could do anything for the inflammation, I personally use Thrive by Lavelle. It's a 3-part system. You take 2 pills in the morning, which are pre and probiotics, and they have this part of a tree bark in them, which is basically one of the ingredients in aspirin. So that helps with the anti-inflammatory. And then after that, about here, have one of their protein shakes. This one is peppermint. I also like in the fall time and winter, um, they have special holiday flavors, which I kind of like, a little bit different. I also like their cookies, chocolate cookies and cream. Hey, Amray, how you doing? Hi, please like, subscribe, share. GLP-1 Journey in Review. Right now I'm talking about the 3-part system that I use for protein, inflammation, and also B12. So after you have the protein shake, you put a little patch on, and that gives you B12 for about 8 hours. I was worried. We talked about muscle loss, and I'll go over it real quickly with you. And I believe I have a stat here that 8% of people have muscle loss, and it's not from the medication. It's actually from rapid weight loss. So no matter which diet or whatever you're doing to lose weight rapidly, you could have some muscle loss, which is why they say you should do a little bit of working out, a little bit of weight training. I personally, I like to go to a place called Hot Works where I do my cardio, and it's inside of a sauna. So my 30-minute workout is almost like an hour's worth of workout. Unfortunately, I had a stress fracture in my foot a few months ago, so I have to be kind of careful, which is why I just do the cardio there. And then I go to the gym and do some weight training, and I use the machines because machines are designed for the weight type of stuff, and so that you don't get hurt. Where if you're doing free weights and stuff, you know, you have to make sure you have proper form and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of you do. And you know, so I do my other workout at the gym, which happens to be literally right next door from Hot Work. So I'm pretty lucky there. So I do my legs and some more core stuff at the gym. But you know, at the Hot Works, on the I prefer the rowing machine as opposed to their elliptical and their bike thing. And it's also, when you row, it's separated, so you could do arm stuff and core stuff, you know, because they have you lean back while you're doing it, so you could feel it in your core. And then, you know, they also have the hot yoga and hot Pilates and hot buns and hot stretch and all that kind of stuff, which is, I don't want to say cool because it's a sauna, so it's not really cool, but you know what I mean. So yeah, that's with muscle loss. Like I said, it'll happen on any weight loss, not just medications. So, it's important that, and the protein will also help with the muscle loss. So just, try increasing your protein. My protein goal, uh, there's calculators, and according to my calculator and my size, weight, and age should be about 75, but I'm usually closer to 100 because, I know, I guess overachieving, I guess, on that. And it helps keep me full. And like I said, it's helping with, muscle loss. Plus, like I said, I'm working out, so I could tell, and I could feel it. Like even when I was on my stall, I did measurements, and yes, I was losing inches. And you have to remember that the muscle does weigh more than fat. So even though I wasn't losing weight, I was losing inches because I was gaining muscle, which fortunately I gained it back. So now let's go back to some side effects besides the muscle loss and the bowel problems. Diarrhea, if you have that, plenty of over-the-counter stuff. Like I said, just let it run its course. Kind of watch what you're eating, because if you eat a real fatty food, that could cause it. That could cause it without the medication. So imagine medication that is known to make the bowel problems a little bit more. You can imagine. So also after a couple months, and again, this happens with any rapid weight loss, there could be hair loss. My hairdresser said, told me that my hair was a little bit thinner, so she recommended that I take biotin and Nutrafol, which I did, and she said she could see a lot of new hair growth. Plus, it does kind of, once you stabilize at a weight, it does come back naturally. It's not a permanent hair loss or anything like that. Let's see. So what else are there? Sorry, I'm just checking my notes here to make sure that I'm covering. So I don't know what exercises everybody else does, but I start off. I have do a little some cardio. Before I joined HotWorks, I did about 20 to 30 minutes of cardio, either elliptical or I actually did a lot of stair climbing, which probably is what caused my stress fracture to begin with. So I kind of stay away from the stair climber. I've always liked rowing, and to me, and just put my headphones on, listen to some good music, um, works for me. And then from there, I go and I do almost every time I'm at the gym, I do some core abdomen work, and then one time I'll do arms, and then the next time I go, I'll do legs. If I'm only going to make it a couple times, and there's days in between, sometimes I'll try to do all at once, although that's not recommended because even when you're at a stall, same thing happens when you exercise and you do the same workout all the time. Your muscles get used to it, and so you got to change things up. So again, mentioning with stalls, when you're on it, if you have a stall, like I said, if you've measured yourself, check, you may be losing inches instead of weight, which to me is a good thing. So I'll take that any day of the week. But you do want to see the results on the scale. So I kind of monitor what I'm eating because I don't like to track food, but when I'm at a stall and I've tried other things, what I think sometimes might be a normal size serving that I'm counting the calories for is actually larger. So like a meal that I think might not have 500 calories, when I actually do track it and put it onto the internet and calculate all the calories, I thought it was 400 or 500, really it's 600. Well, right there could be a problem. Same thing with my workout. If and I use my Oura Ring to track my workouts and my sleep. Um, Walking is very good. What cheap. You don't have to pay anything, and so forth. So anyhow, with the exercises, you may feel that you're burning 150 to 200 calories, and you look it up for your time, and you're only burning 70. Well, there's a difference. So you have to just if you're at a stall, try to figure some things out. Plus, like I said, your body gets used to things. Take for example, you see plenty of construction workers that are overweight, And you know these guys are working their butts off, you know, burning a lot of calories, you know, but their body's used to it. So I love my Aura Ring. It tracks my sleep. It says charge for like 4 days, and you know, like it only takes like an hour, hour and a half to charge. So you know, I get a lot of information. Plus, they just started where it could detect if you're sick before you actually have any symptoms. You know, they say it's pretty accurate. I don't know. I don't get sick very often, so I can't tell. You know, it tracks your activity. It tracks your heartbeat. It tracks your lowest heartbeat while you sleep, your heart rate variation, and so forth. You know, lot of useful information. Again, as far as the steps, you know, it's the same thing with my watch or any tracking device. It's, you know, if it says that you're doing 10,000 steps, okay, you know, reality, you know, somebody's step might be larger, their stride might be larger or smaller, but, you know, if it says you do 10,000 one day and you do 12,000, well, you know, you've done more than you did the day before. So, you know, it's a guideline, and you could go from there. It seems to be pretty right on sync with my watch, but my watch I have to charge every single day, so you know that's kind of a pain, which is why I like the Aura Ring. A lot of useful information. Again, I tried to show it to my doctor, and he's like, "Oh, that stuff is BS. You know, that they're just trying to sell you stuff." But personally, I love it. So let's see. We talked about that. I don't know. Well, what's everybody's exercise? I see, Emre, that you walk. Walking is very good, and you know, it's just good cardio. It builds up muscle. You know, it's just like the cheapest type of exercise. You know, and you know, as far as gyms, like you could go to a secondhand store and buy a couple of dumbbells and stuff like that and do routines. They have, you know, plenty of good ones on the internet. You don't have weights, you could, you know, grab jugs of water or whatever, you know. And again, plenty of free stuff on the internet that you could do and track and all that kind of stuff. My wife with COPD can't get super active, so she's got to watch it. So, you know, like we walk a little bit with her, and, you know, she needs to sit down, she just sits down. And, you know, and she tries to do the chair exercises because, again, she's got the COPD and it's a little hard for her at the gym. You know, and I just tell her, just, you know, when we do go to the gym, just, you know, stop when you have to stop, you know, rest a while. If you want to come back, yeah, you come back to it. You know, it's, you know, that's life. You know, life throws you some lemons, you make lemonade. You know, that's the story, you know, of that. So we went over chair exercises. Uh, so this maintenance thing, you know, I know a lot of people are having difficulties. I've checked with other people, and um, it's so new, and you know, people are just going into maintenance, and of course the drug manufacturers want you to stay on that, whatever your highest dose was, stay on it, and just learn to eat around it. Well, yeah, to me that doesn't make a lot of sense. uh, Hi there, you just subbed and you watched the rest on replay. Okay, good. So here's where you left off, May. Take care. I'm going to try to do another live when I'm at Hot Works tomorrow. Give you a little tour of the place, and hopefully that'll work out. So, maintenance, chair exercises, we've talked about that. We talked about support. We've talked about side effects. Are there any subjects that you guys want me to talk about? Have any of you watched any of my cooking parts of the channel? Like, for me, you know, if dinner can't be ready in 10 minutes, I work late, you know, I don't have time to really cook. I eat a lot of fresh fish. So I've been making videos on how I make my meals in about 10 minutes. And, you know, with fresh, good food, high protein, well, very nutritious type of food. Uh, I've done like snapper and broccoli and cauliflower as a meal. Uh, Tonight, I think I'm going to do burgers and cucumber salad. I've done tilapia, snapper. You know, going to probably do some turkey burgers. And again, if it can't be ready in 10 minutes, it doesn't fit my lifestyle. And, this is something I want to stick to the rest of my life. And, dinner has always been a problem for me because I work so late. And, if I start cooking and it's going to take longer, I'm going to eat even later. And then I'm going to go to sleep on a full stomach. And I don't want too full of a stomach, because I do work early, so I do go to sleep late, and um, dinner time is usually for me around 7:15, and I go to sleep by like 9 o'clock. So not so much because I'm old, but I'm up at 3 in the morning to work out and to be at work by 5:30. So you know, but hopefully you're enjoying my little cooking sessions and um, any other things that I know it's really not a cooking type or a recipe type of channel, but to me this is all about a healthy lifestyle. So this is what it's all about. We all want to have a healthy lifestyle, and do the best we could do and be the best we could be. And seafood for me is a very light dinner. It's not as heavy. I don't eat beef so often because that stays in your stomach even longer. And again, I find, which I also track on my Oura Ring, that when I eat a bigger meal at night, I don't sleep as well. So that's part of the reason. And if I do have beef or something a little bit heavier, I try to go for a little walk before, I go to bed and stuff like that. Anything to help it, anything like that. So we talk about the new medications that are coming out. And I know about a year ago that Eli Lilly was testing 20 and 25 doses. Haven't heard too much about that, but I know with Novo Nordisk doing larger dose trials of Ozempic, Wegovy, that if they're going to start doing it, Eli Lilly is going to follow because they want the business. They want they don't want the competition to get all the business. And same thing with the oral medication. Both of them are working, and to me that's a great thing because not that I really mind giving myself a shot, but if I could take a pill, so much easier. And like between my wife's and my medication, it's taking almost a whole drawer in the refrigerator. And same thing with pharmacies. Refrigerator space is big. Like I said, I know working in the medical profession that those refrigerators, it's not like you go the ones that you buy at um, Home Depot, and you pay 2-3 thousand. Now these are more like 50, 60, 70,000, and a lot smaller. And it's the FDA just demands that. And so like I said, they take up a lot of space in the pharmacies, which as you see, they're kind of tucked in the back or to the side. They're not given as much space as the retail part of it. So space to them is at a premium. And same thing with me. Not that I don't have room in my refrigerator. It's just pills are easier. I do my pills weekly and have them in a little pill box. So like I don't have to think about it. I just grab the pill box and take my Mondays. Hopefully on Monday, and so forth. Tuesday, Wednesday, and so forth. And like I just refill them all on Sunday. And if I can just pop a pill in there, no thought, no nothing, and don't have to worry about not that it's a big deal, getting up in the morning and taking it out of the refrigerator for a couple minutes, filling the syringe and letting the syringe, I don't like to do it super cold because I don't think that's a good thing. So I let it, sit out for like 20 minutes, and then you have to wash your hands. Not that washing your hands is a big deal. I do it a gazillion times a day working in healthcare, but and you have to alcohol and give yourself the shot, and you should kind of rub it a few seconds after and check it. And it's like pop a pill, drink your water, done. It's again for me, time is a huge factor. Because when you work 13, 14-hour days, you don't have that much time to yourself. So any way I could save a couple minutes here and there, I'm gonna do it. So that's it. So then I have my dinner, and a lot of times I just kind of chill around, watch some TV, and then I'm like, well, I don't want to just sit here. I've been active all day, and the idea is to move a little bit more. So I'll do a little bit of errands, or sometimes, like I said, I'll go take a walk with my wife in the evening because here in South Florida we have it. As a matter of fact, it's been a little cold here in South Florida at night. I don't know where everybody's from, but I'm from South Florida, Delray Beach, and it's been in the 40s and 50s at nights, which to us that's super cold. I know when I was originally from Chicago, if it was 40 in the 40s or low 50s, we were in our shorts and t-shirts. We were happy at that in December, January, but I got used to South Florida. What can I say? So to me, the ideal temperature is 73, 74 at night, and middle 60s, with a little jacket at night. So, it's, again, getting used to it. Our body gets used to the medication, our body gets used to the exercise. It's all part of life. It's not just, the thing. So, we've talked about Ozempic face, which, like I said before, should be called weight loss face. Um, Again, as you get older, every year they say you lose about 5% uh, uh, of your elasticity in your skin, anyhow. So you also you're going to lose weight everywhere, including your face. There's you know two things you could do: is you get filler, to, or there's actually a surgical procedure where they could actually put the fat back, which you would think would be permanent, but that only lasts about 5 to 7 years anyhow. The fillers last about 6 months, depending on what kind that you had. I had it uh, about 7 months ago, 6 months ago, when I started, noticing I had some filler put in. It hurt. They did it with some Novocaine. As a matter of fact, I used they spun it out of my platelets rather than use filler, the Botox, or um, other names for it. But I don't, they said they noticed a difference. I didn't really notice a difference. So again, uh, didn't think that was that big of a deal. Um, but one thing that they did teach me was red light. I have this red light thing that I do on my face, and I'm a firm believer in red light therapy. I've used it. Uh, as a matter of fact, if you go to some of these spas that have the beds, or they're like belts and stuff that you can put on your arms and legs, they have 20, 30,000 dollar versions where Amazon sells $50, $100 versions. Theirs is a lot better, and like literally they measured me. I went into the red lights for 20 minutes and measured me again, and you do lose. And granted, you drink some water afterwards and you get some of it back. But if you do it regularly, it helps. Plus, it's really good for your skin. So, I do have the home ones, the ones that you buy on Amazon for $50. I use them on my stomach, and I've used them on my arms. And I have a real fancy one that I actually got at a skincare place. Uh, they tried to sell it to me for like, first they said, they showed it to me on Amazon, that it's $9,999, and you know, but after an hour of talking, if you buy their $2,000 worth of moisturizers, we'll give it to you for free. So a little bit of BSing with that and the prices, I guess, but you know, it is good for your skin. Studies have shown that, if nothing else. So if you it does help with any wrinkles or any weight loss, that's an even bigger plus. So you can't beat that. Again, I have the belt, and like I said, I try to use it 4 to 5 times a week while I'm watching TV. I think there's a difference. Is it huge? Probably not. Plus, it also feels good. It's I'm not going to say it's hot, but you can tell it's a little bit warm. And they say it's good for like arthritis and pains. Like uh, it goes all the way around you, and like my back was hurting a little bit. And, after 25 minutes of using it, was better. Plus, I was sitting down. Was it from sitting down? Was it from the belt? Who knows? But what the heck? It's worth a try. I'm game. I'll try. I've also tried cryotherapy, which is, you know, I have to say that I liked. A little bit expensive, but it was like I went into the place and they had the cryotherapy, 222 degrees below zero for, I think it was 3 minutes, and then right after that you go into the red light. I was tired. I worked like 7 days in a row. I did the cryotherapy, the red light came out, and I'm like, wow, I feel like I've been on vacation for a week and a half, 2 weeks. This is great. And like I said, inflation, inflammatory problems. That's terrible for weight loss. A lot of things, a lot of problems are caused by inflammation. So for me, if I could afford it, I would do it more often. I bought like a 10 series package along with the red light. Used it. Again, it got kind of expensive. It was $700 for the month, for a couple times a week, which I did it while I could afford it. And then again, it wasn't so much even the money. It's just I work so much, and like I said, I start work at 5, and a lot of times I don't get off to 6:37. We're always short at work because that's the healthcare profession, especially since COVID, is they always need help. So do a lot of working, and they're open from 9 to like 7:38 Monday through Friday, and I mean like 9 to 3 on Saturday. Well, I even work on Saturdays, so that it was more of a time thing. Plus, they're about 20 minutes away from my house, in the opposite direction of my work, and I just really since it was kind of like a monthly thing, I found I was only using it like twice a month, 3 times a month because of work and other things, and I had other obligations and stuff to do around the house and things like that. So something had to give, and unfortunately, that's what gave. And like I said, once in a while, I see specials on places that have the cryo, and I'm gonna go ahead and do it when I can. Another thing I've tried was cool sculpting, and yeah, I like it. Does it help? They say it does. They've taken before and after pictures. I'm actually going to do an interview with them because a lot of what they do with their RF waves and stuff like that increases your collagen production, and that's what helps your skin. And they have these things that, and they sell bands like this, but obviously not as professional as they have that uh, make your like belly twitch and stuff like that, and it's kind of as if a 20-minute session, like you were doing 1,000 sit-ups, and you feel it. Are you a little sore after? Yeah, maybe a smidgen, not too bad, but again, see if it works. For me, again, I tried the cool sculpting and the skin tightening because my days of wearing bikini is probably over. But I did, and I do notice a difference. Is it from that? Is it from all the moisturizer? Is it from the workout? Who knows? Is it from the collagen? Who knows? But for me, it's worth it. a shot. And I certainly didn't want surgery because, that takes months to recuperate. And again, time is a problem with me more than other things. So, um, busy lives, that's, how it is these days. Um, but again, I'm going to give you a tour of the place, and they're incorporating some other stuff. I think in another week or so, I'm going to try a plasma pen, which they say you'll actually notice a difference. I'm going to try it on my chin to see, because I'd love to get rid of these lines, which they say that they could, but it does leave a mark, and it takes about 2 weeks to 2.5 weeks to heal from that. So I'd rather try it on my chin to see how it is before I actually try it on my face, where I know it's going to show. And, that way I'll know what to expect as far as recovery and stuff like that. And they're also doing this other thing. I forget what it's called, and they'll explain it a lot better when I do their interview. But if you could imagine like a meat tenderizer with the things going in you, and of course they have to have a licensed practitioner and nurse to do it. But they put it into an area and put RF waves in it to do the collagen and reduce the fat. But again, it does leave some marks that take a while to heal, and I'm waiting to see results on other people before I go ahead and try it. And, of course, they're like, "Oh, we're working together. You're helping us. You're going to do interviews. It's going to be like free advertising and stuff like that. We'll throw it in for you." And I'm like, I think I kind of want to wait till I see somebody else do it first. We'll see. So there are cool sculpting places. They also have red light there. I do some skin tightening sessions. Like I said, they've showed me the original before picture to how it looks today. Yes, there's a difference. Is it huge? It's not huge, but it's definitely a noticeable difference. And I've been going to them probably about 4 months, and I want to say it's roughly about $200 a session. And the sessions I go between every 2 weeks to every 3 weeks, depending on what they do. If they do the cool sculpting in the session, then you got to wait 3 weeks. If they do skin tightening, you only have to wait a week or two. But like I don't want to do too much all at one time, which I seem to be doing because, like I said, is this all from the cool sculpting place? Is it from the exercise? Is it from the new moisturizers? Is it from the red lights? Is it, from working out? I'm trying to do everything that I can to make, this journey a better journey. I'm reporting to you guys so that you could figure out what to incorporate in yours, if any, because you don't have to do any of this. Just, eating properly, they say even not eating properly and taking the medication over a year, you can lose 8% of your body weight. To me, that's not a huge thing. Like, I've lost 60 pounds, which is like 30% of my body weight, more than 30% probably, in a year. To me, that's much better results than 8% over a year. So, that's, again, if I have the time, I'm going to try to do what I can because I want to make, my life as healthy as possible. I love this new lifestyle. I hope I never go back. That's one of the reasons why I started this channel, is to, one, keep me, honest as far as not gaining any of the weight back and sticking to it. And, if I could help somebody else along the way, even better. That's why I love the feedback that I'm getting from you guys, and I would love to do Q&A. You can actually do some planned live so that you people could, plan to spend an hour with me, and actually we could be chatting back and forth, and you could be asking questions. I know a couple of you have during this, and I'm trying my best to answer them. I'd also love to have a Q&A. So, please leave in any comments on any of my pages, if there's anything you want to talk about, or, if there's anything, any types of videos you want me to do. I do have a bunch of new videos coming out. Again, one is like the dark side of GLP-1, the stigmas and, things like that. I'm doing one on um, natural things instead of GLP-1 or in addition to GLP-1. For example, like they say, berberine is really good, things along those lines. Um, Doing another one on, the Hollywood secrets of GLP-1s, uh, doing, like how to um, take the medication out of a pen and put it in a vial, like if you do want to split the dose, or if you have a larger dose, if you have a 15 dose and you're really only taking 7.5 to make it last a little bit longer. And, I have videos like that coming up. I have videos on what to look for in grocery stores coming up, restaurants. And by the way, I released one, I believe it was either today or yesterday, on going out to eat while on GLP-1, and there's a great contest on that. If you watch the whole video, it tells you how to enter the contest, and if you're a subscriber, and follow the rest of the directions, you'll be entered to win a gift card. I'm gonna say it's going to be from Amazon, but if the winner would prefer anything else that can be delivered via email, by all means, I'll be more than happy to. So please watch that video and follow the directions. There was another video called The Skinny on GLP-1 that also has the directions on how to enter the contest. We've had lots of good videos on the basics of GLP-1, how to inject, how to prepare the area, and all that kind of good information. What to order in restaurants. If you have to go to a fast food, what's the best way to deal with it? How to deal with the costs and the stigmas and all that kind of stuff. So that, I've got like 10 to 12 videos in the works. Um, so and that's what's coming out soon. Hopefully, like I said, any suggestions, I'll be more than happy. We've got one coming out on the new insurance guidelines for 2025. And that's another thing I wanted to quickly bring up is that Novo Nordisk and Ozempic is negotiating with Medicare, and that's huge because whatever they decide, if they negotiate a lower price, that's across the boards. That's pharmacies. Doesn't matter what insurance, no insurance, and so forth. And the good thing with that, if you're not on the Ozempic, you have the choice of you could either change, or if that takes off really big, Eli Lilly isn't going to like that, and they might have to match the competitor because they're not due to 2030 to negotiate with Medicare. So, that's got a lot of good information like that coming out. I'm hoping to have like 3 to 4 videos a week coming out. I've pretty well got most of February's and part of March is figured out. Like I said, any topic you guys want, I can change orders of things. Right now I'm working on like 5 or 6 in a row, and I have a couple already just about ready for publishing. So, I've been looking forward to getting your feedback on those. Please like, subscribe, and share them because that really helps me out, and I could keep giving you important information like this and a lot of updates. I'm always happy to chat with you. Like I said, I'm hoping to have one tomorrow somewhere. I'm on Eastern Standard Time, somewhere between 11 and 1, hopefully from Hotworks. So I can give you a quick tour and maybe talk to the people there that work there, so they can tell you how important the exercise is. And like I said, one of the things that I like about this is that it accelerates your workout, so that if you work out like a 20-minute workout is like a 30-minute workout because you're doing it in a sauna. So like I said, for me, time is huge. Time is a big thing. So that's about all the information that I have for tonight. And I look forward to hopefully talking to you tomorrow. And I'll be having another live next week. Uh, Bye to Ava, M. Ray, and all the people that have joined us. This will be available to rewatch, replay. It does take about an hour and a half to upload onto YouTube, so just be patient. It'll be there. Good chatting with you. Have a good day. I'm going to start making my dinner, and I'll do the video on it. Those are pretty quick videos, and like I said, dinner's ready in 10 minutes, so I'm not going to make you sit there and watch while the timer's down. So it's like a 4 or 5 minute video of everything that I have to do. Nice, simple, healthy, easy, fast. That's the way I like it. And like I said, we're not really a recipe cooking channel, but it's more of a healthy lifestyle type of thing. So hopefully you like them, and I will talk to you soon.